Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at kind of what's been going on most recently, what we'd expect to happen next, and all that wonderful stuff. As we have seen I think it was like the 16th of November come, go, and the 18th of November come and go. I guess all eyes are now on the 24th of November, whether that will just come and go, and no moonshot for XRP. Obviously, there's some interesting news articles out there as well, you know, everything about how you've got these big financial conglomerates of Australia implementing the XRP standard, the ISO 20022, and all that wonderful stuff. Essentially, it's an Australian bank that is doing that. So there's lots of kind of really positive news out there, trying to get you all tripped up, in my opinion, because it's important that we understand what the charts are telling us as well as the fundamentals, right? So in this video, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about the price action. As I get into it, if you find it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, stay up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky. And of course, if you haven't yet joined us in the Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's completely free. It's the first place we go to tell you about all the various different things that are happening in the crypto space. It can be a little bit complicated to get in there. Sometimes if you're new to Discord, it looks a little bit complicated, but essentially it is the best place to be if you're in the crypto space, in my opinion. Okay, let's make a start. XRP paired up with the USDT, and we're going to start here on the 1 hour chart. So pretty much following on from the last TA video that I did on this, there's no change. We've basically just been in a ranging market, right? We're going sideways. It's very, very obvious that that is what has been going on all within this little area here. We're going sideways. Now, as I say time and time again, a ranging market is usually what trips up most of the retail investors. The 1% out of those traders who are really professional and kind of understand these things, they do not trade these particular types of markets. They just wait to see where things go after. Okay, it's a smart play. 99%, however, of traders, these are kind of your retail mentality, they don't like waiting. They're not patient. They just want to jump in and they want to gamble, you know, up or down or whatever. And generally speaking, they tend to lose out. So let's be the 1%. Let's be patient. Let's let it play its course and see what happens, okay? So there's a couple of different ranges going on here. We have this bigger range, as you can kind of see, between these two white areas on the charts, okay? This essentially on the lower side, this is between 31 and 32 cents, and on the higher side, it's between 39 and 40 cents, right? We're basically trading in between that range. But if we go ahead and zoom right in here a little bit further, we grab a couple of dashed lines, I throw one right up there, and I throw another one down here. We are also ranging right in here between 36 and 39 cents. So you can see that we're just kind of channeled in this sideways trading motion. Now, there are going to be some traders out there that will say, oh, look, we've got this trend line. It's fantastic. We're going to be going up or we're going to be going down. Now, essentially, those things don't tend to work too well. And essentially, it really does come down to the analyst who's drawing that trend line as to whether or not they are accurate in what they're doing. Essentially, from an Elliott wave theory point of view, I'm tracking 2 moves to the downside, but 1 move to the upside. Okay, the upside being 40.76, as you can kind of see it just labeled up there. And to the downside, we've got 30.9 all the way through to about 25.23. So those are the kind of bigger macro pictures as you kind of see coming down here. So these are the ones that I'm thinking are the most likely. But we aren't going to go straight down. And I think 40.76 is still highly likely, at least on the smaller time frames. As I kind of bring up our stochastics, we can see that actually down here on this 1 hour chart, we've got plenty of room to grow up into, you know, some kind of price appreciation. Of course, the stochastic RSI and the RSI for that matter is a momentum indicator. It doesn't indicate price movement. It only tells you the strength of a movement. And right now we've come down a fair amount, at least here you can kind of see this kind of like little kind of bit of red here over the last, I don't know, probably 8 hours. We can see that we've lowered down into the oversold area on the stochastic, and therefore a potential move upwards is likely to occur over the next few hours, right? Now, the same thing can be said about the 4 hour. It's corrected down, it's not oversold, it's not overbought, and it's come down pretty rapidly here. And so we could potentially go down a little bit more before going up, or alternatively, we can just reverse this back up. In these ranging markets, it's incredibly difficult to rely on the stochastic RSI on the smaller time frames. And the reason for this is basically they're just going to bounce around as the the market doesn't have the confidence in it. And, you know, it's understandable considering everything that has been going on with FTX. There's not a lot of confidence on exchanges at the moment. So to think about people wanting to come in and scoop up a load of XRP during these uncertain times is kind of a hard thing to kind of get your head around. And with all that being said, the stochastic RSIs are bouncing up and down from the overbought and oversold areas because there isn't really any activity really occurring here for XRP from a trader's perspective. And in an ideal world, we kind of want the chart to kind of show us what's going to happen so that we can get on the right side of it. This is definitely a very dangerous time to be kind of FOMOing in my opinion. Now, the shorter time frames, they indicate potential moves to the upside, but the larger time frames, not so much. As we come up into the 8-hour chart, you can see that we are up in the overbought area, and we've been up here pretty much since we had this potential move up towards that 40-cent range, right? So we can see that we've been up here for a little bit now. And at some point, we're going to have to move back down. Last time we were up here, we were obviously way up on this higher range at about 51 cents. So you can see that there's a pretty interesting kind of level here that we're kind of working on that could be pretty dangerous for the price action of XRP, right? So be a little bit cautious. Now, if I come to the 12-hour, very much the same. Overbought. Last time we were here, we're up at 51 cent. So just bear in mind that, you know, we've actually gone right back up to the overbought area, and yet the price has not set a higher high. In fact, it's a higher low. And so therefore we are looking for a breakdown on these timeframes. But we can go further. How's that 16-hour chart looking? Again, up in the overbought area. What about the 20-hour? Overbought. Okay, and the daily coming up from the oversold area. Okay, so we want to be aware that across these timeframes, we're expecting some kind of move, some kind of catalyst to take us down in the price action. Okay, we're not thinking that there's going to be a moonshot just around the corner here. At least the momentum doesn't indicate that. And since the momentum is basically just tracking volume against price and a few other kind of metrics in there, it's actually important that we understand that the momentum indicator is giving us an indication that actually the market is ready to kind of allow things to kind of cool off and to pull back even further. Okay, but for that, still, we must have some kind of selling pressure. And for that kind of selling pressure to occur, we have to see some kind of faith in exchanges. Where are they going to offload that XRP, right? And who's going to buy it? Because there's always a buyer and there's always a seller. And I think this has been one of the key reasons why we've seen this sideways trade, specifically on some of these more prominent cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for example, and XRP here. Okay, we've been trading sideways because there aren't really that many participants that are willing to kind of throw their money onto exchanges and buy and sell and actually transact using those centralized exchanges right now. So yeah, we look at this and we see the momentum potentially looking for a shift to the downside, but until there's some kind of confidence in both the buying and the selling side, we probably are just going to continue ranging sideways, and that's quite a hard pill to swallow for many. But it does look like we have to break down at some point. But again, those momentum indicators can change on us very, very quickly. They don't have to be up in the overbought area, and we can just move down a couple of cents and all of a sudden become oversold, right? So we do want to be a little bit cautious with it, but we also want to give the time to the charts and the data and allow the kind of space to decide which way things are going to go. At the moment, I'm kind of feeling that we've got some kind of micro movement to the upside before we have some kind of bigger catalyst to the downside. And we don't know what that's going to be. Like we said, right, there's the market's very, very fragile. We were saying this for months, and it didn't take terribly too much to kind of knock it over the edge. And in the case of crypto recently, although we were saying, we were calling for new lower lows and the prices were going to come down, we couldn't really necessarily say categorically that it was going to be FTX several months ago that was going to cause that move. We obviously saw it about a week or so ahead of time, actually probably too generous, probably a few days ahead of time with some of the stuff that was going on with liquidations and things like that we were able to kind of get ahead of that kind of movement in the space and be able to short FTT, for example, ahead of time. And at the moment, what we need to do is we need to give this some time to play out so that we can kind of bring that confidence back in. So for now, I think it's important that we kind of reflect on, yes, we've got some downward price pressure. We don't need to know if there's going to be another catalyst that takes that down there at this point in time, but something may materialize. It may come up here and actually tell us that we are going to be seeing, significant downside. And, there's a lot of really good positive things also going in the background when it comes to XRP, right? So I'm just looking for some short-term kind of movements to basically get us into a nice position for a bit of a movement to the upside. But at the same time, we should be blissfully aware that the economic climate globally, it isn't brilliant, and there isn't really terribly too much money willing to come in and invest. There's a lot of people basically relying on savings at the moment and relying on credit cards to kind of get by on the day-to-day. So eventually that money is going to dry up once all savings are dried up, and once you see all the credit cards kind of maxed out, that's really going to be a big catalyst to the downside, I think, slightly longer term. So we want to keep these things in mind, that we could be seeing, another 3-6 months of kind of, just bouncing around, not terribly doing too much. And then all of a sudden, we see another big leg to the downside. But, these are things that we think about. They are not concrete. They are not guaranteed. But these are definitely things that we should be mindful of as we kind of think about whether we're going to be buying or selling cryptocurrency assets, considering the kind of global climate as it is. I'm going to leave this video there though, guys. You can quite clearly see that we have some kind of structure here, but until this kind of decides which way it wants to go, definitely want to be protecting the assets at the moment that I've got, so I'm not going to be trading this one personally. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'm really interested to know. Join us down in Discord, also in the description, in the description down below. Do let us know that, and I'll catch you all in the next one.